Hello and welcome to SDPN's 2023-2024 NBA season previews. Today we are taking a look at the young and exciting and highly talented Oklahoma City Thunder, who are very quickly developing into a top-tier team in the Western Conference. SGA is an MVP level player. Jalen Williams was second in Rookie of the Year voting. Josh Giddey, Lu Dort, Kenrich Williams, and Isaiah Joe round out a great nucleus, and on top of that, Thunder fans will finally get to see Chet Holmgren in action. How good can this Thunder team be exactly? Let's dive in. But first, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel for more NBA content. The season is almost here, and we have tons of great NBA videos coming your way to get you prepped for what should be an awesome season. I'll say this from the get-go, the Thunder are going to be a must-watch League Pass team this season. I mean, to be fair, they already were last year with SGA playing all NBA basketball, J-Dub showing out as a rookie, and Giddey dazzlingly every game, but this year is different. It also showed in their record too, winning 40 games after winning just 24 the season before, and nearly making it to the playoffs, beating the Pelicans in their first playing game before eventually losing out to the Timberwolves for the 8th seed. Last season was a major step in the right direction for that franchise, and if anything, this core showed that they are nearing a point where they can try and win now. That starts with SGA, who finished 5th in MVP voting last season and was a first-team All-NBA member, the first time a Canadian has ever done that since the great Steve Nash. He averaged over 31 points, carving up defenses with his probing and manipulative style, and using his soft touch and elite finishing to be one of the premier drivers in all of basketball. It's for that reason that he finished 3rd in free throw attempts in the entire league, attempting more than 10 a game, only behind Giannis Antetokounmpo and Joel Embiid. Shai lives in the paint, and he makes a killing because of it. He's improved as a defender and shooter, being a positive defender for the first time in his career and averaging nearly 2 steals. And he shot almost 35% from behind the arc on 3 attempts a game. As the 25-year-old continues to expand his arsenal, he's only going to continue to develop as a shooter and playmaker, and that's wild considering he's already receiving MVP love and All-NBA selections. In Shai, the Thunder have a legitimate championship-level player to build around, and they've done so masterfully. Giddey is a big guard with a cerebral playmaking ability that has continued to show growth as a scorer and offensive player. Despite only having a functional handle, Giddey has been insanely impressive as a secondary creator next to Shai, and the two pair well together despite the obvious lack of shooting from both. On the wings, J-Dub showed how impressive he was as a rookie, playing virtually mistake-free basketball on his way to one of the most efficient seasons for a rookie ever. His frame makes him so hard to guard going downhill, and he's expanding his range and mid-range scoring as well. The Canadian Lu Dort has been their most savvy wing defender for a few seasons now, and he continues to expand his arsenal as a rim finisher and driver. While he's not the most efficient shooter or scorer, his defense is what brings value to this team. And last, but certainly not least, Isaiah Joe, who was the most positive, impactful player on the roster last season. The Thunder generated 10 more points per 100 possessions with Joe's sharpshooting on the floor, the best mark for any player on the team. He shot 40% from 3 on over 5 attempts a game, helping space the floor and allowing Shai and Giddey more breathing room on drives. Joe has become an integral cog on this Thunder team purely for his shooting ability and how well he plays off of the rest of the core. I'd be remiss to not mention the Thunder adding one of the best guards Europe has to offer in Vasilije Micic. The Serbian is one of the most decorated athletes in the EuroLeague and should be a good veteran presence off of the bench for the Thunder this season. A player at 6'5" who can theoretically play alongside both Giddey and SGA. How much of his European dominance translates over will be the main question. And while all of these players I just mentioned are intriguing in their own right for the Thunder next season, no player will be as enticing to watch as 2022 second overall pick, big man Chet Holmgren. You honestly can't overstate how much Holmgren completes this team and their starting lineup. While Jalen Williams and Jeremiah Robinson-Earl did a valiant job last season of being the big men in the middle, the Thunder were ultimately too small down low, and that was their downfall against the Timberwolves in the 2023 play-in game. Holmgren solves that problem. The 7-footer is a shot blocking, rim protecting machine whose quick feet can help him switch out onto guards and whose large frame allows him to guard multiple positions. The Thunder had to resort to a really aggressive defensive scheme last year that forced turnovers and didn't allow the ball to get into the paint because of their lack of size. But now with Holmgren, they can dial that back, be a little bit more conservative, and allow Holmgren to play the role of cleanup defensively. Chet's versatility on defense is going to change things for the Thunder on day one. He will be impactful on that end almost immediately. The big question is going to be how he looks offensively, and I think ultimately that's where his fit with this team is most intriguing. I can see pick and pops with Shai and Giddey, where Holmgren's shooting ability creates a threat for the defenses that gives the Thunder guards even more space to operate. On top of that, I think Chet can be a good rim runner and short roll creator for OKC, and if you can get any of that from him this season, we're talking about a potential Rookie of the Year campaign for Chet. After missing all of last season, I think he's going to have a huge year, and the way he fits with the rest of OKC's core is perfect. The big question for OKC will be how much they continue to harp on development. They were the youngest team in the league last season, and they enter this season as the second youngest. Oftentimes, they would play a deep rotation of 10 to 12 players a night in order to prioritize giving reps to some of their younger guys, and I'm curious to see how head coach Mark Daigneault and crew do that this season, especially when they know what they have this year is potentially special. They have Case and Wallace, who they drafted this year to develop, Ousmane Dieng, their lottery pick from last year, and even Trey Mann and Aaron Wiggins. But how much opportunity do those guys get? Or does OKC start to shorten their rotation in order to focus on winning? OKC is projected at 43.5 wins next season, and while I think that's a fair line for a team that won 40 games last year, especially given the fact that the West has gotten better, I am bullish on this team. It would not surprise me, given the fact that they have an MVP candidate, given the fact that they have a potential Rookie of the Year in Chet, and a very talented nucleus, that this team could win 50 games this upcoming season. It would be a big leap, and it would put them near the top of the Western Conference, but I really do think that if the Thunder prioritize it, they can be a surefire playoff team this season. The other thing is that OKC is primed to, at some point, make some sort of consolidation trade for another star to pair alongside SGA. While they're probably too early in the process to consider that, they have 20 first round picks from now until 2029. And with the team rapidly reaching its peak, they just won't have any use for those picks, let alone roster spots to house them. Regardless, even if it's not this year, OKC is primed to become a contender sooner rather than later. But what do you think? Am I too high on OKC? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.